Good morning and welcome to one of my dark early morning adventures. Last night we were coming back from Harrison Lewis. We just got off the ferry and we're travelling over down through Fort William, and we're having a night at Fort William to break up the journey. And I've been talking to a Mr. Alan Gary on Facebook, one of my subscribers and followers, and I've gone, come back, where am I? And he was saying, you know, where am I at, what am I doing? And I said, oh, I'm in Fort William. He said, oh, do you fancy shooting the wreck at Caol something? It's right on the edge of the lock at Fort William. I'll put the name above the screen. And he showed me a picture. He was there at sunset, even though there wasn't a sunset. He was there at sunset, and he got a nice image. Very flat, very grey, very minimal, but really, really nice. I'm like, wow, I've seen that before. I've seen other vloggers shoot it. I'm sure I have. Got hold of Alan again, and he said, yeah. He said it's only just up the road. So I had a look on Google. God, blow me, 7-minute walk from where I'm staying. How amazing is that? So, just making sure I'm heading down a path. I've got no idea where I'm going. It's just, I know I'm going in the right direction. And I think, yes, I can see it. There's this big black thing sitting on the water's edge. So, long story short, or short story long, I'm meeting him here this morning. So, I'm up at 4:30. It's still dark. The moon's out over the top of the mountains. Ben Nevis is directly behind me, which you can't see at the moment, but it is behind me nevertheless. So yeah, that's the plan for this morning. Get to this this boat, which is right there. I can see it now, which is going to be an absolute buzz for me. So I'm going to go down the beach now. I've not got my boots on. I've got my normal shoes on, but can you see the shape of the wreck? Just there, just there. That's your wreck. Hopefully we'll get to Ben Nevis in the background. I don't care what the conditions are going to be like. I don't care what the sky is going to be like or anything. It's just still great to be here. So let's make the most of this and try not to fall on my arse on the beach in the dark. Okay, I'm stood right next to the wreck. Look at the size of this. That's not just any little old boat. That's a massive, massive boat. I can see why it's been photographed such a lot. Wow, what a thing that is. And Ben Nevis, you can't quite see it. Let me just turn my torch off. That, if you can see just there, yep, just there, that one there pointing to it, that's Ben Nevis. So yeah, and Fort Williams, those few lights over in the background, well, all of this is Fort Williams, but that's the main town of Fort Williams. So yeah, we're on the lock, and I've already spotted a first image. For me, I'm going to flick you around. This is one of the first images. See that there? The bow of the boat and the little mast thing and the moon in there and the mountains. So that for me is already the first image, part of the boat. it's still quite dark and you can't really see me face, but I know you can see me at. I've got a first composition set up. I've taken two, to be honest. I'm just going to check this one. Yeah, I like that. Two shots. I've taken one vertical, as you can see there. Vertical image. I've got just the bow of the boat, and got my lights on the back of my head. Just the bow of the boat and the moon and the mountain in the background. Quite difficult to see in the dark, but I think that's a really, really cool image. To have that moon like that. Turn my light off. To have that moon. My light keeps coming on behind my head. to turn that light off. Bird flew over. Yeah, to have the bow of the front of the boat and the moon in it. And then I've also taken one. I managed to get the whole boat in. So I've done a vertical one and a horizontal one. I'm now going to move around and try and set up for the main composition, or at least find the main composition while I've got some time on my hands before the sun comes up. Now it is cloudy. It is cloudy over Ben Nevis. You can see there it's quite cloudy, but I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to get some light. Whatever happens, the sun is going to come up, and it is going to get lighter. So I'm going to see if I can take something forward on. It's always nice looking at the bow of the boat and leading up over, and then we'll go round to the stern and we'll go down to the back, and we'll get the boat set up and the hills and the mountains in the background. Probably a little bit further away, slightly zoomed in. That will compress the image and bring the mountain closer to the boat. I've seen them on Google. If they can do it, I can do it. I just need to work at it. Well, I've quickly had to switch the camera back on because someone's just creeped up behind me, and he didn't frighten me. I caught him at the corner of my eye, otherwise he would have made me jump. Hello, sir.
Hiya,
good morning.
To meet you.
Yeah, pleased to meet you as well. This is Mr. Alan Gray. Gray. I've been calling him Gary all morning, haven't I? So that's my fault. Yeah, Gray. Yeah, who'd be called Alan Galley? That's two first names, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks to this guy, I'm here looking at this beauty this morning. Absolutely fantastic. This is an amazing wreck.
Yeah,
when you said it was a boat, I was like, yeah, okay. And I've seen the pictures of it, but until I got down here next to it, I'm like, my God, it's huge.
Yeah, it's good.
Absolutely beautiful, and perfectly pointing towards Ben Nevis, as I said. So just set myself up for another shot though. Sideways on. I've just been caught doing some landscaping. I'm sitting over this side. Put the wide angle lens on so I can get the whole of the side of the boat on. Moon's in the background, a little bit of the mountain, and just like the reflection on the water. So I'm sitting over this side and I've got all this dark, messy drift rubbish, and I wanted a bit of a leading line, so I've cheated a little bit. I've done some landscaping. I moved a few of the bits of wood, driftwood. I've only swung them round slightly so they're leading towards the boat instead of down the shore. I don't know if that's allowed or not, but it's too late now. I've done it and I've been caught, so fair's fair, hands up. I don't even know if it's going to work because I can't see him in the dark, to be honest, but I'm going to have a look on the back of the camera and see if it actually worked. So now he's here, he's going to show me the perfect position to get into.
Yeah.
Speak in a bit. Just doing a little bit of B-roll down here, and while we've been talking, and the shot's already opened itself up. Now this is probably the classic shot. Probably everybody that come down here shoots this shot, but there's a reason behind that reason. It's perfect. You've got the lovely little white wash coming down from the brook or the river coming through into the loch, and it causes an S-curve. You can see there, starts at the end of the white, leads round, goes onto the edge of the shoreline there, follows it back round, and there you get up to the boat. And then right behind it there, Ben Nevis. So who wouldn't shoot the classic? You just can't resist, it's perfect. The difference being is, no one's going to be here and shoot it. Well, there is somebody going to be here. Alan's going to be here. But you're never going to have two people stood in exactly the same place in the same weather conditions. So every time you take this shot, it's going to be different, even though it's still the classic. But there is a reason why classics are classics. So camera's going to come back out. I'm going to set up, get this shot, probably do a couple of different exposures on it, and then we'll zoom in a bit closer to compress the mountains behind and just wait for the colour. And fingers crossed we get some colour. But we'll get something. Like I said, the sun is definitely going to come up, so it will change. But yeah, what a fantastic place. I'm going to find out all the information now of all the local hotspots to go to, so next time I'm up here, I might even pick him up on the way through. Right, got my classic set up, and it really is as simple as point the camera and shoot. You don't have to put any brain work into it, you don't have to put much thought into it at all. You've got water washing out from the side, so it's a slightly slow exposure. It's still quite dark as well, so even at ISO 100 I'm getting, at f8 I'm getting 4 seconds. So the exposure's already set for you. Water's now nice and smooth. You've got this lovely little white wash at the bottom, taking you through the S-curve of the shoreline, onto the boat, which is set on my third right. I put it actually in the middle because it suits the middle. The reason I put it in the middle is I'm shooting quite wide, so I'm starting off wide and I'm going to get closer and closer and close in on it, which will compress the mountains behind. But we've got some nice trees over here on the left, and it just seems to frame everything. You've got the trees, everything comes down to the boat, and in the boat, and then Ben Nevis behind it. And let's face it, if you're going to want a mountain in the back of your image, what better mountain to have than Ben Nevis? It's the biggest one in Britain, it's the highest one in Britain, and I must say I did actually get to the top of it last June, so I feel quite proud of myself that I made it to the top of that little bad bugger. But yeah, it's a good photo, nice and simple. It's a little bit grey, it's early morning just before the sun's coming up, but well worth being here, well worth taking the shot. Got another composition set up. I've gone vertical, I've got in a bit closer now to the water. I've also put the polarizer on. The reason I put the polarizer on, I know there's no sun out, but it reduces the glare on the water. I wish I'd have done this a little bit sooner because the image is really quite nice. Just going to brighten the exposure up slightly. F8, where we are, get the exposure set right, watching the histogram so it's not clipping. We're at 2.5 seconds, so the timing now is getting a bit better, so there's not too long an image, too long a shot. Another absolute lovely little shot, leading lines all the way through to the wreck and mountain in the background. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut up talking and I'm going to concentrate on taking a few images. The light's starting to come up, there's a tiny little bit of pink in the sky, so I'm going to run around here now like a headless chicken and try and get a few different images, something to set up. We've got lots of little compositions. We've got a little bit closer over that side, we can run down the side down here. We've got a leading line, I know there's a load of mesh, we've got leading lines for the rope, there's all sorts. So I'm going to try and concentrate on getting a few images and get set up for the ideal one at the end. And I can concentrate a bit more on talking. So I'll speak to you in a little while. Hello, we're back. Did you enjoy that? A little bit of drone footage. Nearly lost my drone. Not lost it as in lost it. Not lost it as in hey up. There's a bit of sunlight there. Seeing that through the trees? There's sunlight through the trees. Yeah, we've been, it's definitely in the wrong place. You never know, it might actually do something. Right, we've been stood here for ages and ages, watching the tide come in to come and get us, cutting us off. And it's really coming up quite fast, because this is a tidal lock, obviously, which explains all the driftwood. But yeah, it's come up really quick. So now we've got loads of water, as you can see, around the bottom of the boat. I've had a bit of a time lapse running, so you'll get to see that now. And hopefully you'll see the tide coming up. But it has come up quite quick. But anyway, my drone, had the drone out, flown the drone around. I was going to set it up and try and get a few shots of the boat from a different angle, but it was just impossible. As soon as I got it out, a big gaggle of bloody oyster catchers decided they wanted to try and kill it. So they chased it out, I brought it back round and they chased it back to us, and as soon as it got near us they all flew off into the distance. So I had another go, took it out again, got it over the top of the boat, just get it in position, and they all come again, squawking their heads off, gaggling up round it. There must have been 10, 20 of them, must have been 20 of them, all ganging up on this poor little drone. I couldn't even tell what was a drone at one point, and I couldn't even tell which way it was flying either, so I managed to bring it back and I just got it back over towards me to safety. I did have a bit of a panic, but yeah, they definitely, seagulls don't like them, and neither do oyster catchers. All I can assume is they're nesting down the coast or even on the wreck for all I know, and yeah, they drove me away, let's put it that way. But the tide is coming in, it's now near my feet, and these little swirls of water that are down there, they've all gone now. But it's giving a different perspective on the boat, limiting the shots, because obviously you couldn't even wade out there. In all fairness, that's really deep actually, where we were stood just now, so you wouldn't even wade out there when Wellington's on. So it's pushing us up against the shoreline, into the tree line even as well, so it's taking, the shots are now limited, but there's not a lot going on. We've got a nice soft wispy cloud coming over the top of Ben Nevis, which is quite pretty, sort of almost monolithic, is that a word? Monolithic, is that another word? I don't know. But yeah, so I'll still carry on shooting. I've now got a 6.6 stop off soft end E-grad, just toning the sky down a little bit, just to keep those clouds in, and keeping the histogram from clipping out. I will shoot a few more. I may even get up close once the water's around it, go around the other side, put the wide angle lens on, and just get the wreck in the water and try and do a really long exposure and see if I can get that. If the tide comes up high enough, I'm not so sure it will. I think it'll probably only come up to this next shoreline, which is here. So we've only got another few feet, which is good, otherwise we'd run out of beach. So yeah, all in all, not a bad little morning, just a shame we haven't had the colour. Just been looking at some of Alan's photographs, and he's made me quite jealous really. He's quite a good photographer. Why on earth does he want to watch me? It's obviously my good looks he likes to watch. Definitely. Actually, it's probably the wife's good looks. Everyone keeps mentioning Denise, doesn't she? She's not with us this morning, she's in bed. I told her where we are, I told her where I am, and we are literally 7 minutes. I can't believe how close we are to this place. I've taken loads of images. You're probably going to be absolutely sick of seeing this boat by the time the end of this vlog's on. But it just keeps changing with the sea, you know, the sea lock's moving in, the water's now around it, so we can zoom in and we can just get it surrounded in water. You can zoom out, you've got the leading lines, you've got the bushes to the left, you've got the mountains in the background. We didn't get the colour, as I've already said, but we're here, this is the conditions, this is the morning, and I feel nice and fresh now. I've got up nice and early. The only thing I haven't had, and I brought it with me, I haven't had any yet, is my coffee. I haven't had a drink yet, so I'm gonna have a drop of coffee in a minute. It's been great meeting Alan as well, sitting here chopsing, and I think we're gonna head down through Glen Cove, so I might actually, he's heading that way, doing a bit of a recce, so I might even pop down and find out where he is and go and have a look where he's on about. But yeah, this final shot, albeit the final shot, might be another one yet. I might get up a bit closer and put the wide angle on. I've gone two, I've done a zoomed in shot, so I've gone really tight. See if I can show you on the back of here. Where are we? Zoom in. Zoomed in shot like that, if you can see that. So I've zoomed in quite tight, so So it's giving this nice little mounting range there, bringing it, really compressing it right down. F8 as normal, ISO 100, and I've got the little stopper on as well, the 6-stop ND, and keep making sure you keep everything inside the mounting range. So yeah, that's quite a nice little shot. And then we moved out. It's actually changed again. There's even more water around it. So while we're there, we'll actually take that on a 6-second timer, or 2-second timer for 6 seconds. I've done all the longer exposures just to smooth the water out, because it's not very interesting otherwise. Quite a nice, simple, minimal sort of shot with a boat in it. And then again, we've gone wider, so we bring it out. Come here. We'll bring it out, and as you can see, we bring the tree line in from the side, and we've taken that as well. There's a nice little bush down here with some little foliage on it, so we're just trying to add to the images. So yeah, great little morning. I think I'll have to end it here, otherwise you'll be boated out, and we'll see you on the next one. Not sure where the next one's going to be, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to put this one out before I put the Harris stuff out, which I've mentioned a couple of times as well. So yeah, don't know where I'm going to be, don't know what I'm going to be up to, don't know what I'm going to be doing, but from me and Alan here, who encouraged me to come down here, and thank God he did message me. So this is a message to everybody. Message me, tell me what you're doing, tell me where you are, and tell me where I'm going to go to, and then I'll come and visit as well when I can. But yeah, got to meet a Scottish fellow. Good to see him in the morning. So till next time, ciao from me.